I'm here in the town of Mindelo in Cape Verde on my mission to retrace the voyage of the Beagle. These islands off the coast of Africa are the first stop on that journey, and they in many ways set the stage for the entire remainder of the voyage. Darwin, of course, was thrilled to be on land outside of England. He studied everything, but he's most famous for studying the geology of these islands, the volcanic formations, and of the fossils that are found within. To see what Darwin saw, the fossil beaches and lava flows that formed his geological education, I need to go to Praia, the capital on the island of Santiago. This is the island where the Beagle anchored. I can't get close because it's being made into a giant casino. Fortunately, in the corners and waste places of Praia, geology is everywhere. For example, here is a fossil sea urchin spine just sticking out from the roadside downtown. Further on, the roadside is full of fossil rhodoliths, the coral-like remains of certain red algae that form balls that roll around on the sea floor. If there were a tourist anti-guide to Cabo Verde, this place would be in it. It's dusty and thorny, and there are people sleeping in bushes and piles of garbage and worse. It's approaching the part of town I've been warned not to go in, and it's awesome because of this road cut. This is the kind of exposure that Darwin could only have dreamed of. This is Charles Darwin Avenue. Beyond it is the bad part of town, which I need to cross for a good natural exposure. It's downright post-apocalyptic here, with the wind and the dust and the semi-abandoned developments. Despite the country's name, the only green things growing are spiny or poisonous or both. But if you make it to the sea cliffs, it's awesome. I'm halfway down the sea cliffs, and this is fantastic. This cave here is formed by the ocean eroding away the chalk layer, Darwin's chalk layer, right there. And all around the ground, there are these chunks of chalk that are just full of fossils. There's oysters and corals and various types of shells and everything here. These ones are a bit cooked by contact with the hot lava. You can see right up there in the ceiling the pillow lava, the various bits of lava that have come down and made contact with the wet ocean floor. You can also see giant rocks there that have fallen down. Some still have the chalk layer attached, fallen down from the cliff as the ocean has been eroding this ancient seabed away. This is fantastic. I will continue down and try and find some fresher, softer stone that hasn't been in direct contact with lava. So this is it. High quality exposure of Darwin's chalk layer. It's not very thick here, but this rock is just chock full of fossils. It's fantastic. I've seen a bunch of different shells and corals. I thought I saw a crab shell, but I'm not sure. The rock is very competent, and you can't pull it apart with your fingers. You have to hammer on it to get anything out. That's great. Extends all along the cliff. This is exactly what Darwin would have seen. And there's big chunks of it in the foreground, so you can just hammer on those if you don't want to try and pull apart the cliff. Good stuff. Good stuff. I wanted to show y'all some living sea creatures, but the surf at the cliff base was brutal. After only a minute, I was bruised and full of sea urchin spines. What Darwin didn't know was there are several fossil chalk layers. This island has been bobbing up and down like a cork. Below me, to my right, there is one layer. It's visible on the painted rock over there. But above that, there's a second layer, visible above the road. A shout out to Marks Johnson and collaborators for helping me find these terrific exposures. So I'm here in the hostel with my collection of fossil sea creatures, sitting and soaking my foot in vinegar and trying to write. Check this out. This is a fossil cone shell. He's 1 million years old, give or take. It still has its coloration. It's awesome. It's probably the modern species, Conus venulatus, or whatever the kids are calling it nowadays. Awesome. I'm thinking about how important this find must have been to Darwin and his realization that whole communities of creatures can be created and destroyed by its gradual, imperceptible rise and fall in sea level, and how that can shape the entire environment that we live in. Obviously, this is an issue of great modern concern. I'm also thinking about ocean acidification, clearly, and check this out. The fossil sea creatures dissolve quickly in acid water. Time will tell how well modern organisms adapt.
वसन करन्नट